Hello everybody, Jet here, and welcome back to, to my next Let's Talk Total War 3 Kingdoms, where we're going to be discussing Cao Cao and his followers, his generals, or his potential generals, depending on the way the game works. I'm a little out on some of the recent updates we've had, simply because I've had a very busy Christmas with my son. This is also a very, very new format, guys, so please feel free to give me feedback on how I'm doing it. Also, I'm going to be, this is sort of thing long run I'd like to make into videos when we have, but I don't have the skills for that. Something I'm looking at doing this year is actually making myself proper videos. Now, on my screen I've got various things, so you will hear me clicking and things as well. Anyway, before going on for ages, let us just jump straight into this. So obviously, first thing we've got on our screen is Cao Cao. I don't know why I'm pointing my mouth at it, because you can only see the slideshow at the moment. So obviously, we've gone through the main thing of him as a leader, so I'm not going to go through all the details. Obviously, he's a manipulator. Politically, he's a manipulator, all that, the other. He's the master manipulator at getting other factions to do what he wants. But we're not necessarily going to talk about that too much at the moment. So first of all, he's a commander, guys, if you can see from his hero type. Now, commanders aren't necessarily... How can I phrase this? I know there's been a lot of anger about Cao Cao being a commander. Some people think he should be more of a valiant hero fighting, but it's probably more for balance. So commanders are basically they're the classic general. They're reasonable fighter, reasonably good on the battlefield, reasonably good at commanding and buffing their troops. He's not going to be the best in a duel. He's not going to be the worst in a duel. So he's the all-round sort of general. He's good on the battlefield, can fight, but not the toughest guy out there. Now his abilities, which you can see at the bottom of this poster. So he's an opportunistic manipulator. So with Cao Cao, the wily Cao Cao sees opportunity in the hardship of others, skewing scenarios to fortune his own favour, and fortunes to his favour. So basically, he's the master manipulator. He can pull the strings to make everybody do what he wants them to do. Theoretically, you could win with him without ever going to war. Next one we've got here, Imperious Present. Cao Cao's commanding authority can inspire all around him to take arms and rise up in action. Basically, he's going to buff everybody around him. So that's going to be his commander ability. The first one's his campaign ability. So he's obviously, buffing up all the guys around him. So everybody on the battlefield is going to fight slightly better because he is there. Trust of God. That's our third one here. One of the finest swords ever created. And Cao Cao's personal weapon of choice. So Trust of God is his sword then. So obviously that's an item, guys. So there might be ways you can steal it. Or when he passes away, it may move on to his heir. Or to, you can potentially move it around. So basically, it's a sword he's got, which is going to provide him nice buffs. And we have discussed items in the game. So you do have items. You can buy items. You can sell items. You can move them around. Okay, and the next one here, Shadowrunner. A horse famed for its elegance and speed. Said to move so swiftly it can outrun his own shadow. So he's got a very fast and elegant steed there. Okay, and obviously we've got the general description we've been given for him is when we got given the poster, it's cunning and merciless, the strategic mastermind, favours the divide and conquer approach, expertly manipulating others to his bidding. Now, I'm not going to go on too long about Cao Cao, guys. Cao Cao, tell me off for saying that, guys. Simply because we've already gone through him in quite a bit of depth. I'll link his actual whole description video below. But, we've had a big blog on him, so we've gone into a lot of depth with him. So let's move on. Xiahou Dun. I tried to pronounce these correctly, guys. I will get some of them wrong. So Xiahou Dun. Xiahou Dun is a legendary one-eyed general, fiercely loyal to Cao Cao. In a battle against Lu Bu's forces in the late 190s, he was hit in the eye with a stray arrow. he proceeded to yank the arrow out, devour his own eyeball, and charge towards the enemy general, Cao Zing, killing him on the spot. That sounds a little romanticized. How can I phrase it? I'm gonna get the hate now for saying that. I seriously doubt he pulled the arrow out of his eye and ate it on the battlefield, but it's a fantastic story of the type of character he is, and it gives you everything you need to know there. Now you can see he is a champion. Now champions are our damage dealers, our pure damage dealers. His job is on the battlefield is to hunt down enemy commanders and kill them. He is raw damage output, but not necessarily able to take it. He's more the... I'm trying to think of a... Without going to Warhammer, Warhammer he'd be the assassin characters. So things like the Witch Hunter or the Assassins. He's the pure DPS dealer. His job is to literally go and kill individual units, take them out, so you don't have to worry about them. And that's what champions do in this. Also, I would imagine quite good in a duel. So he's a hot-headed officer. Xiahou Dun is famed for his furious temper, and many are wary of feeling his wrath. Ooh, now that could be interesting. So he's got a temper to him, which means I would suspect that means sometimes controlling him on the battlefield could be quite tricky, because obviously he's how to phrase this? Well, he's hot-headed. He's angry. So if you make him angry, he might not do what the commander wants. I don't know that. That's me speculating, guys. This is all speculation. None, you know. So a lot of this is confirmed. Just take everything with a pinch of salt. Hamstring, a carefully placed strike, hobbles the enemy, making them easy targets for future attacks. So we've got an ability which will slow down our enemies, making it hard for them to escape. So they're moving slower, so we can keep up with them if they try to run away. Vengeance, this is our third one here. Battle fuels his anger, but may send him into an uncontrollable rage. So again, we've got this rage thing. So maybe Hot-Headed Officer is an ability which puts him into it, but gives him some buff. But he can also go into an uncontrollable rage. Again, so you're going to likely to lose control of him in a battle, which isn't necessarily bad. Binding Fury. The weight of 1,000 trees brought to bear against a single enemy. So, a powerful attack, I imagine that is. So it's just some special abilities he's got there where he can bring a lot to, he can just bring a lot of power to play in one battle to do a lot of extra damage in one go. I would imagine. I could be completely wrong again. So again, he sounds like an interesting one. He's going to be somebody very interesting on the battlefield. Obviously, you're going to want to use him to try and seek out enemy generals and take them out. Enemy generals or lords or commanders or officers, whatever. Obviously, in romance mode, he will be incredibly powerful. That's something worth mentioning. All these guys are going to be more powerful in romance mode. So if you're worried about people like Cao Cao just falling over, in romance mode, he's going to be a massively powerful character. In historical mode, he will have a bodyguard to keep him alive. So none of these guys are going to just be taken out by a single unit other than another hero, I suspect. But no, he sounds like an interesting character. Very aggressive in his stance. Like, you're going to want to push him forwards. If you're playing with him in an army, you're going to want to be backing him up so he doesn't get completely surrounded by the enemy. But also somebody who's very good for pushing and distracting and disrupting the enemy, which is always useful to do. Because if you can disrupt the enemy forces, it's harder for them to react. Anyway, on to our next one. Zuchu. There. So he's another champion there. So meet Zuchu, the indomitable general and one of Cao Cao's most trusted officers. His colossal size and fierce strength make him a key figure on the battlefield, while his immense loyalty and bravery earned him a plethora of military accolades and titles. Okay, so first thing, Giant Bane, an impressive warrior, deserves an impressive mace. So Giant's Bane, you can tell I'm reading because I'm looking sideways at it. I do apologise, I'm not looking at the camera. So Giant's Bane is obviously his weapon of choice. Well, his weapon he starts with, which is just going to be, it's just going to be a big, powerful mace for him to use. So his next ability, Condemned Howl. A bestial rage causes him to fight with ferocity, but also to drop his guard against incoming attacks, which fits the champion archetype, champion hero type. So it's his very aggressive. So he can choose to use this, and he will lose defense but gain attack. So he's going to do a lot more damage very quickly, but at the same time he's going to be a lot more vulnerable. So in a one-on-one situation, that might be worth using to finish somebody quickly. But if you're surrounded, you're being poked from multiple sides, probably not. But then again, he also has Stalwart Defender, born to hold the line. Zuchu shrugs off attacks as if they were nothing. So when he's not using that, he's obviously quite good defensively as well. So he can hold the line if needs be. Obviously probably not as good as somebody like a Sentinel, because Sentinels are literally designed to do that. I think I might have got my characters a little confused, but we'll go back to that. Earth-shattering strike. A devastating attack that shakes the ground from beneath him and sends nearby enemies reeling. So again, a big AoE ability to batter people about. 1 second. I think I might have got the hero types a little confused here, so I'm just double checking that for you. But again, he sounds like a good all-round character. Yeah, no, I have got that. So champions are the battlefield assassins. It's just the way he's been described made me think I'd got that wrong, because he doesn't sound like your typical assassin. So he's going to be a very solid damage dealer. So as he is a champion, he is going to be, the damage dealer, the person to go out there and cause the damage. But at the same time, he's going to be a little tougher than some of our other guys. So he will be able to hold that line if needs be. But he's never going to be as good at it as some of the better characters. But he's a nice, aggressive character with some defensive abilities. Now, Dian Wei. Now, this is another champion, guys, and you'll notice we're getting a lot of champions with Cao Cao, which I guess kind of fits his playstyle, as he's manipulative. He's not going to want to leave with the sort of, I would imagine you wouldn't want to play the drawn-out battles with him, and these guys will be very good at decisive moves, so cutting through the enemy, taking out individual characters. I'll come and talk about this a little bit at the end. But obviously, meet Dian Wei, a hulking powerhouse of a man and a loyal bodyguard of Cao Cao, famed for his immense physical strength and iron will. Dian Wei is known for fighting off scores of enemy troops without breaking a sweat. Which again, doesn't strike me as the champion. So maybe the description I've seen of champion, which I will admit I've pulled from a first party site from an interview, may not be quite right, but obviously they're all going to be lesser or greater extents. They're not going to be quite as single focused, because that's boring. Now, he interestingly only has 3 abilities here. Stone Bulwark, with the skin of the earth, arrows rebound, harmless. So he's got an ability to shrug off arrows. Cry of the forest. When weakened, Dian Wei unleashes his true power. So he's going to get more powerful the weaker he is, the more damaged he is, which is always an interesting thing. So in a hard fight, he's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Obviously, he also gets more and more dead. But that means you're going to want to, if you're fighting against him, you're going to either want to ignore him or take him out quickly, or both. So kite him around, try not to deal with him until you're ready to, and then take him out fast, possibly with another champion to try and take him as quickly as possible. Twin Marshal Ji, the Chicken Saw Sickle, is a deadly adversary, make no mistakes. That's his weapons. That looks like 2 weapons, something like that. I can't quite see there. I'll have to have a look at what he actually uses, but no. So again, he sounds like an interesting character. Again, he's another champion, which we do seem to have a lot of. But he sounds like he's got some defensive abilities, but he does you know, that Cry of the Forest sounds like a very aggressive ability, so he's going to get better when he's weakened. But it also makes him a very one-shot hero, because you're going to use him and he'll take damage. But that's the same with a lot of champions. You'll probably want to pull them out fairly quickly. Careful using them, but when you use them, they will probably be quite decisive, which to me fits. And we do have one more here. Xiahou Yuan. I think we've got one more, yeah. So Xiahou Yuan. Now this is a different type of hero, guys. This is a vanguard. Now the vanguards are powerful, rash warriors. These guys disrupt the front line with powerful attacks. This is your charge into the heart of the enemy forces, disrupt and batter their front line. So again, it's a nice aggressive character, but they're going to be a bit tougher than the champions. The champions are going to be the find the enemy commander, kill the enemy commander. Well, they will still be able to fight units. They're not going to be as good at that, whereas vanguards are going to be designed more about fighting mass units. They're also very good for, you know, very good for duels and things. Now, so let's have a look at his abilities. Oh, sorry, Xiahou Yuan is a fiercely brave and resourceful general, loyal to Cao Cao. Famed for his immense battlefield speed and guile, he has earned a place as an officer of great renown. So, first ability here, the Maker of Ways. When it comes to military logistics, where there's a will, Xiahou Yuan has a way. So, oh, this is. I was getting confused there because they've mostly been battlefield abilities. Obviously, I'm making mistakes. This is obviously not a battlefield ability, guys. This is a military ability. This is a campaign ability from sounds of it. So he's going to have better logistics. He's going to be logistically good, which fits somebody working for Cao Cao, because he is very much that more grand scheme type of general. Next, Blazing Saddles, a charge of great power, draining Xiahou Yuan's focus. Okay, now we've got something here called focus, which they're discussing. Now, I wonder if you do have an ability then, or a pool of focus to use your abilities, which kind of makes sense, because so you can't just spam them and they're not just on a cooldown. So it might. So we'll have to see that. That's something to think about, because I've not seen, you know. But the fact he talks about draining your focus makes me think that abilities maybe cost something. But there, he's got a very powerful charge, which will help him, and obviously use up focus, whatever that is. We'll have to see. If we've already seen it and I've missed it, please tell me. Final rush. With a final burst of speed, the battle's end is hastened. Just sounds like it gives him a speed buff to be able to chase people down or something, I'm not sure. And Flames of the Phoenix, a devastating swing with the power of a risen inferno. So a big, powerful attack there he can use to batter those around him. Swing of risen inferno. I'd say, I want, for some reason, thing in my brain is saying AoE attack, but I don't know why. But to me, that sounds like a big, grand attack, and it fits the Vanguard style, because their job is to get in and disrupt the enemy line, batter the troops around the place. So he would charge into a unit and scatter that unit, whereas the champion would charge in and kill them poke them one at a time. But yeah, so that is a very interesting one. Again, he sounds like a nice, solid, aggressive character. He sounds like he's got a campaign buff as well, so you might want to use him as another general rather than an officer, though I don't quite know how that works yet with assigning generals and officers. We will have to see, guys. But no, he sounds like a nice, interesting character for us to be playing with. And we'll have to see. And that is all of the characters here. Obviously, we've got 5, including Cao Cao. We've got Xiahou Yuan, who is the Vanguard. Dian Wei, champion. Zhu Chu, who is another champion. Xiahou Dun, who is a champion. And Cao Cao himself, who is a commander. So obviously, he's the commander. He's the general all round. And from the way I understand it, some of these guys will potentially be officers underneath him. I could be wrong there. So obviously, you've got your champions, which are your damage dealers, and you've got Vanguard. Now, these guys could either be generals or officers from my understanding. in his army underneath him. Again, I could be wrong. This is me speculating from what I've seen. I am not CA star, so take everything I say with a pinch of salt. But no, so personally, I'd probably use Xiahou Yuan and Cao Cao as my overall generals, and have the champions inside. Now, the champions to me are more designed, as I discussed, guys, about very decisive battles. You don't really want a champion in a prolonged, ongoing fight, guys, because, well, they're not designed for that. They're designed to be that, get in, do the damage, get out. So you're going to want nice, decisive battles in the playstyle with Cao Cao. Obviously, generally, he doesn't have to fight for battles. He can pull allies in. He can use his manipulation to his advantage there. But when you are fighting battles, you're going to be wanting to use them carefully, hold them back, and use them at the decisive point of that battle to take out the enemy generals and officers as quickly as can, to put their troops in disarray, basically cut off the head, which sounds very Cao Cao to me in the way he works. Now, just before we do finish here, guys, I am going to go through, we've obviously got 5 hero types we're aware of at the moment. The strategists, who sit very back there. The strategists are grand scheme. They're never going to be particularly good on the battlefield. They're not ones you really want to be getting in a fight. They are the guys with big campaign buffs who are potentially able to command more armies, have really good campaign benefits to us. While they can fight in battles, and I'm not going to say you're never going to use them in battles, they're never going to be as good at it. You're going to want to be careful, because they're not going to be as good at battle as anybody else. Obviously, you've then got the commanders like Cao Cao, who is the classic general. He can fight a bit, he can command a bit. He's got campaign stuff all around and buffs those around him. We've got vanguards, as discussed. These are your frontline warriors to go in and attack the enemy, batter the enemy and fight. You've got your champions, who are your guys. For the PC gamer thing I'm looking at, I do apologise, says, born to duel. So they're duelists, they're assassins, they're in there to go and cut off the head of your enemy, or to hit specific units. Again, this could all be a pinch of salt, and as we can see here, it doesn't seem to be as clear-cut as that. A lot of these champions have defensive abilities, so it's probably not quite as clear-cut as that. This is the problem of having played lots of Warhammer, because things tend to be a lot more clear-cut in that, whereas these are actually historical characters who are a lot more well-rounded. Real life people aren't just one thing. I mean, some people are, but most people aren't just one thing. Sentinels. Now, Sentinels are, I think we'll be discussing one next time, and with Sun Jian. Now they are who interesting, has some of the same attacks. Now we'll come back to that again next time, definitely. Sorry, I've got him up on my screen now. But well, it's a sentinel. It says it on the tin. These are guys who are designed to hold the line. They are a sentinel. They are a defensive monster powerhouse. They will walk in and hold a unit or two. They will be able to hold that position and not die. Meat shields, they are the people to use to hold chunks of the enemy. I would imagine Sentinels and Vanguards have a bit of overlap, in the same way that Vanguards and Champions will have a bit of overlap, and they will all have a bit of overlap with Commanders. But these guys tend to be your more tough, solid characters. And then, of course, we've got the champions, who we've already discussed are the assassins, guys. But no, with all that, I think it sounds like Cao Cao has a very interesting group of generals. I don't know quite how and when we will get all of these guys. How you get hold of them, whether other people can get hold of them if you don't treat them right, because it does sound like there is loyalty there. I would imagine these guys are all very loyal to start with to Cao Cao, so you're far more likely to get them. But it does definitely sound like there are ways of getting them. Obviously, if you kill Cao Cao, these guys might disseminate across the Empire. You may be able to hire them on, or use various things to use them. We'll have to look for more stuff as it comes out later, guys. Now, as I mentioned at the start, thank you very much for watching. Please feel free to give critique, feedback on this. Please keep it positive. Well, don't necessarily keep it positive, but keep it constructive. Don't just say, oh my god, that was terrible. Because this is a learning experience for me. This is something very new. It's a long run. I will try and make a video around this sort of thing, but for now, that's beyond me. It's something I need to learn. I need to learn to do, and I will take that feedback into the next one. There may be more heroes added for Cao Cao. I'm doing what we've got at the moment. So if you watch this in 4 months' time, it's January at the moment. If you watch this 4 month time, you're like, oh, why didn't you discuss Bob? I'm not suggesting he's going to have a person called Bob. You know, obviously, things may be different. Now, the thing I'm actually going to discuss something else here, because it's something I'm really interested in. I'm really interested in what's going to happen with the second generation. Because obviously you've got all your start characters, and there's been a lot of talk about securing heirs and marriages and alliances and things. Now, obviously, we're not necessarily going to follow what happens in lore. So we're going to get a second generation of heroes come up who will, I hope, still have lots of abilities and things. And we'll have to see how that works and how they're generated, if it's a combination or if there's some sort of skill tree where you can get them. Anyway, I'm going off at a tangent there because I'm excited. Thank you very much for your time, guys. Please feel free to pop comments in the comments section or jump over to my Discord and say hi. There is a link to my Discord in the comments and the description below, as well as links to my Twitter, my Patreon, and my affiliations with Overclockers UK and Fanatical Games. So please, please check them out. Thank you very much for your time, and if you have enjoyed this, please like and subscribe for more content. And hit the little bell thing in that corner. I always point the wrong way because of webcam, and that notifies you whenever I do drop any content. Thank you very much, guys.